Hello, cosmic beings. Welcome to Being Cosmic. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I am so glad that each and every one of you are here. My name is Devon, and I will be giving a collective message today. So, with that, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. That being said, this is going to be a very, very specific message. Um, it's on maybe a few people in the collective that are on a twin flame journey. And I feel like I'm speaking to the divine masculine and bringing through some clarity on the situation. Hopefully, this is a very complex dynamic. It's some I have done a couple other twin flame messages on the channel. I tend to push the messages away when I feel like a twin flame message wants to come through because I don't want to it's an energy that can take over. Especially, it, I resonate with the journey. So it's something that I tend to kind of just like, oh, I'll bring through little bits and pieces in some of the readings, but I don't generally open up and just like, all right, it's a straight up twin flame message. But here we go. Okay. So with that, before when I was like, okay, it's a twin flame message, it wants to come through. I'm surrendering, I'm gonna let it come through. Hopefully I can bring some clarity. It's a very challenging dynamic. It's very weird. It's very whew, it's a oof. Huh. If you're on the journey, you probably know what that means. It's 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 so complex and it's something that not a whole lot of people understand it. And so if you try to explain it to somebody who's not on the journey, they're like, weird, dude. Um Anyways, so before I hit record, I started hearing a song that I haven't heard in quite a while. It's Janet Jackson, All For Me. And so I heard the first line, the first part. Okay. So it starts and it's blah, 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 blah. Okay. All right. I'm being called to sing it. So here we go. I see you staring out the corner of my eye. You seem uneasy, boy, to approach me, throw me a line. And that part really, really stuck out. And then I started kind of laughing because it's okay, if you're resonating with this message, you're probably at the point where you have some level of clarity on the situation. I don't feel like you're quite in the like super confusion of what is going on. Why am I always thinking about this person? What the hell? Why can't I let this person go? Why can't I shake them? All of that. I feel like you have some level of clarity on the situation at this point if you're resonating with this message. And so what's hilarious to me about that coming through is it's one of those like the divine feminine is sitting there saying, I can see you staring out of the corner of my eye in a metaphoric way. So it's like your feminine can feel your soul right there out of the corner of their eye. Um and I just got chills on that one. So I feel like that's extra confirmation. Um, okay, I'm just gonna say it. I feel like if you're watching this message, right, I feel like, okay, what I'm picking up is that union is inevitable at this point. So your souls have already agreed on the higher planes in the 5D, in the quantum realm, whatever you want to term it. Your souls have already, I heard, renegotiated the contract. So take that as it resonates. There's different levels of how the twin flame journey affects different twins. I feel like this is a situation where it's actually this one is a little bit different than your traditional twin flame uh journey. It's It's just slightly different. I'm being told not to really go into it, but the renegotiation of the contract, of the twin contract, has already been decided upon in the ethers, and now your human selves get to, I just heard, buckle up and enjoy the ride. So buckle up and enjoy the ride. I feel like union is inevitable at this point in some way. It might not necessarily be like a full-blown romantic union, though for a few of you I am seeing that as the most likely outcome. The future's not fixed. We all have free will. So, it's even if the souls renegotiate the contract, it doesn't mean that you are forced to do something. It doesn't mean you're forced to be with this person. It just means that I feel like what happened was you guys came together, some shit went down, and then you went into separation. But where this one's slightly different is it wasn't intended to go on the normal twin flame trajectory. Which is where you come together, you go into separation, you do your separate healing, and then you come back together, um, and attempt union again. I feel like this was one where it was originally intended in the soul blueprint for you two to come together, stay together, and to be one of the first out the gate with this union. I'm picking up very ancient souls, you've done this incarnation thing a lot. You both have a deep level of soul wisdom, and it was initially intended for you two to come together, but the level of ego and humanness and the wounding and all of that shit sent you into separation. But that wasn't the original blueprint. So instead of continuing on that trajectory, it was actually kind of dissolved. So it's not that you and your twin are disconnected or anything like that. You're always in union in the 5D. So it was just one of those, like, okay, well, maybe in a different lifetime. Then some shit changed. And I feel like the feminine went through an awakening. And then you, the masculine, went through an awakening a period of time later. And when you went through that awakening, your higher self, it sent out a signal in the quantum realm of like, I'm choosing this path. I'm back on the path. And then so the feminine aspect in this connection was like, oh shit, now what? And so it wasn't, there's some similarities of a traditional twin flame path, but there is a difference because it wasn't originally part of the blueprint for this life for you to go into separation like that. And so instead of constantly having that deep pull, that deep longing, that I can never let them go kind of thing, it actually was a little bit quiet. That being said, what I am being shown is for both of you throughout your life, however long it's been since you went to separation, throughout your life, there have been moments when you tried to settle, you tried to go a certain path, and this person kept coming up into your conscious mind. Maybe you dreamed of them, maybe you would think about them, maybe you would see their face in your mind, maybe you'd hear something that reminded you of them, maybe you would smell them. Um, these kinds of things. And it wasn't because on the traditional twin flame path, you go into separation and then you get those signs and stuff because you both are trying to come back together into union. In this case, it was more of that the other part of this twin flame union, this twin flame connection. The other soul was like, no, you're not settling. No, you're not going to lock into that. No, this is karmic. No, this is not for your highest good. And so it's this thing of like, you decided when that separation occurred and was really fully anchored in, your souls were like, okay, that's cool. We're just going to do life separately this time. We're going to try again in a different lifetime. And then both of you, because this happens even so, there's a lot of souls who have twin flames that are not incarnated on Earth at the same time. And that part of, because it's one soul that splits into two, and then you have an identical core soul frequency. And so oftentimes one part of that dynamic will incarnate and the other one will stay in the 5D and be a guide. And so this is something that you will help guide each other because it's the oversoul evolution that is the point. And so you will always help guide each other. You'll always be each other's North Stars. But there's something that completely changed over the past. I'm picking up like, take this if it resonates. This is very, very specific. I'm picking up like a year, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, just depending, but about a year of Earth time. Um, there was renegotiations happening in the 5D of what is going to help your souls evolve. And what your higher selves agreed upon is coming back into each other's physical lives is for the best interest of the soul expansion and the soul growth. And ultimately, because this is the big part of a twin flame union, or just the twin flame journey is the soul mission. So you incarnate at the same time on earth as twins so that you can come together and lock into the soul mission, which is effectively helping to lift the vibration collectively of the planet. And so that's the real purpose of this. And so your higher selves deemed that yes, maybe their human selves are going to struggle with it a little bit at first, but ultimately in the long run, coming into union in some form. Again, I don't feel like the dynamics of the union are fully anchored in because there is the human free will. But there is some sort of, yes, come back together, because it's like there's something missing in each other's lives that only the other half of this oversoul can bring in at this point. It's almost like it's one of those it's just been deemed for the highest good of the connection in the situation for you to come back together in the physical realm in some sort of union in some way. and and I feel like those terms are still in the negotiation phase because now your human self gets to be involved and make free will choices on what that union is actually going to look like. But for the soul mission of coming together and sparking these things within the other, that's what's necessary for the continued evolution of this oversoul and these two halves of the twin of the soul, basically. Okay, so now let's get into what this message is. So we've got a dragon's nest. Okay. Oh. Guard those things that are most precious to you with extra vigilance. Protect the security of your home magically and practically. Look to the safety and well being of those in your care, both human and animal. Bless your nest. Protect what is precious. Get your house in order and hoarding tendencies. What the hell? Um, okay, so I had to pause really quick. There was a slight interruption, which happens. Um, I was attempting to figure out what this card has to do with what I was picking up on. Um, it's kind of throwing me a little bit. It's talking about, oh, okay, I heard protecting what's yours. And I'm being told you're gonna know what that means. So I'm really, okay. All right. What else wants to come through about this situation? One. That's a cool one. I haven't seen a lot of these cards because this is a new deck. So let's see. I love, love these cards. All right. Lore Keeper's Bookshop. We've got an owl in a ton of books. Hmm. And then we've got Foxfire. And there's three foxes and mushrooms. Mushrooms. Okay. Cool. Lord of the Rings reference for you. All right. Um, Get lost for a while in the realms of imagination, the fantastical, the romantic, the poetical, the historical. Whether you visit a bookshop, a library, or your own teeming bookshelves, exploring the world of words will be particularly valuable to you right now. Revisit some old favorites along the way that may have something new to teach you. A love of books, a love of learning, a quest for deeper understanding. So, what I picked up at first was that this might be how you view your counterpart as being somebody who would be, just fine sitting in a room filled with books and just learning. And then I got told that that's actually a shared soul dynamic. It's a shared. I feel like both of you have a love of learning, and I feel like that may be something that has been missing is having another person who is on the same page with the book reference. Um in multiple ways, but this could be one that is very enticing, especially if you are intellectual, love to learn, love to read. It's a weird thing because it's like when you have a love of learning and you just learn all the time and you research and you confirmation and you study and you want to just know all of the things, and so you've got this insatiable thirst for knowledge and knowing and truth seeking and all of these things. It's one of these things where finding somebody else that you can get lost in that intellectual space with, I feel like there's a craving for both of you when it comes to that. I feel like that's something that both of you could provide each other that is going to be very, very fulfilling. Okay, and then Foxfire. Foxfire. Doo-doo-doo. The places where the magical and mundane worlds touch. The liminal places are full of possibility. You are at one of those places now. You can proceed logically, or you can expand your consciousness for other possibilities. The first possibility may not be the correct one. Listen for the intuitive call to move, act, grow, and to shine. This is energy stirring underground and things are speeding up. And so what I really feel like is happening is that was kind of that initial message of like your higher selves already decided that union is imminent in some way. Reconnecting in the physical world is imminent. It is going to happen at some point. And there is going to be a stirring and a push, especially being the masculine. You are going to be pushed and pushed and pushed until you reach out, until you reconnect. And it's going to be something that is only going to pick up. And so, it's one of those, listen to your intuition on this and act when you feel it's time, and also know that there is going, I mean, there's probably going to be kind of those anxious feelings, but it's also going to be exciting. That nervousness, that like butterflies in the stomach and like, oh shit, I'm actually going to do this. I'm actually going to shoot my shot. Um but it's one of those, that soul calling, that stirring, that pushing, that like, okay, move forward, move towards them, that is only going to pick up, is what I'm feeling. And what I just heard was it's going to get to a point where I feel like what might happen is you get to this point where you're like, all right, like, fuck it. I'm reaching out. Like, my goodness. I feel like if you're not there yet, you will be soon. Oh, we've got a lonely gnome. Oh, how interesting. We've got a lonely gnome and good company. So those kind of are contradictory. Oh, okay. I just heard you may feel lonely in a crowd. Um, hmm, yeah, yeah. It's so what I'm picking up is that it's one of those things where nobody else has been able to see you and understand you in the way that this person can. I feel like there's a part of you that knows that this person, and that's part of the scary part too, is because when you have a knowing that there's a person that can see through your mask, no matter which mask you try and put on, no matter what you're trying to hide, no matter, you know, all of that. It can be intense. It can be a little like, "Ooh, am I ready for that?" But the thing is if you're here and you're watching this message, you are ready for it. Um, it's one of these things as well to understand that the purpose of these connections is to bring you back to yourself, is to pull you into your complete authenticity and to be able to show up in your true authenticity. And so that's why you have this experience with this one person who can see everything at the soul level because it's this a process of being your authentic self no matter what, and then also having this relationship with somebody who can see you for all that you are and all that you can be and helps to hold you in that highest potential, and you do this for each other. This is very mutual. Because it's intense on both ends to feel seen in that way. It's it's exciting and also, produces a little bit of anxiety to be held like that and to be seen like that and known like that. But it's also exciting and it's one of those like when you have it all, nothing can ever fully replace that. When you have this level of a connection with somebody, you can get close with others, but nothing else will fully just mesh in this way. And that's where that identical core soul frequency comes in because there's literally only one other soul that has an identical core soul frequency. You've got lots of soulmates that have a very similar core soul frequency and you just get along and all of that, but when it's identical, you have that you have the capability and the capacity to fully see each other, to fully hold each other, but you also have the capacity to fully see those wounds, those unhealed patterns. And so it's one of these things where you have no choice but to stand in your honesty, your authenticity, and to just be there, like naked, but more naked than you've ever felt. And you can be fully clothed. And and so it's intense. I mean, it is absolutely intense. The eye contact, I'm picking up that the eye contact in this dynamic is it's almost too intense sometimes. Like this might be a situation where you kind of both like look at each other and then look away because it is so intense. There's also a voice resonance in this connection. So there's also something with each other's voices. I'm also picking up that maybe one or both of you are like musicians or speakers or something like that where you are or you're being called into that. There's been a desire to do something with your voice because you have this unique frequency that actually helps to unlock things within other people. So you actually have codes in your voice, light codes in your voice and your unique resonance that helps to activate others And so you might have experienced that in your life. And there's also a resonance between you two with the voice. There's something with the voice and the eye contact. And then there's also something with, and this is stuff that your souls decided to mm, be a dynamic for that soul recognition. And so it's eyes, it's voice, and it's also like mannerisms or I just heard rhythms. So it could be something where maybe you've got a similar cadence. You've got a similar maybe you've got like similar facial expressions or mannerisms, like when you're talking with, well, I talk with my hands, but like talking with your hands, and you talk with your hands in a specific way that's very, and it's something that it's not because you've been around each other a lot. It's a soul thing. Um so those are some identifying factors for you, just to help you to really know if this message is for you or not. Because like I said in the beginning, this is a very, very specific message. I normally don't bring through full readings that are this specific. So, um, there's that. Um, I do want to say a lot of these dynamics are mirrored. So, this concept of feeling alone in a crowd is something that you both have probably experienced for most of your life. Um, and then it's one of those like in this person's presence, you don't feel that way anymore. Okay. What else wants to come through? Oh, wow. Okay. I just had a powerful message come through, so I'm gonna see if you can pick this up on the camera. We'll see. So this gnome is sitting here, and then you've got the light coming through this window. And so it's this lonely gnome sitting here all by his lonesome, feeling very alone. And then there's this light coming through. And what I feel like this light coming through is it's your divine feminine lighting the way home. That's what I just heard. And so it's one of these like turn around and look at that light and follow that light, because you both, I feel like you both are ready for this. As you're, whenever you watch this, if this is resonating for you, I feel like this is extra confirmation for you. You've been getting other signs and synchronicities and other messages and dreams and things like that. I feel like this is like a physical confirmation for you to let you know that it is time to start following that light back home. And the thing is it's, yes, back to your divine feminine, but it's also back to yourself. It's back to your soul self. It's back to your authentic self. And so, yes, it's back home in some sort of union with your feminine, but it's also back home to yourself as well. Okay, so I had another slight interruption. My daughter came in and was wondering how much longer this message is going to be. And what's funny is normally when I get interruptions in videos, like it'll break the channeling or whatever, and so I kind of have to like reset and get back into it. But normally it's pretty seamless. It's normally very just like, oh, okay, interruption, there's something symbolic here, take it as the symbol, bring it through the message, and just continue on. When I pick up on this particular thread of energy, when I get interrupted, it irritates me more than normal. And so there's something there to that. And then when I was like, okay, what's the reason? Like, why every time when I tap into this specific type of energy do I get interrupted? And then I heard some things that I'm gonna have to filter and be very cautious of how I heard it because of the algorithm, and get freaking shadow banned again. Um when Okay, this is a very powerful connection. Um like I brought up in the beginning of this is very ancient connection. This is very ancient souls. You are a very ancient soul, and so is your counterpart. And so you two coming together is problematic for the systems that be in the control matrix, we'll say. I'm going to leave it at that. So understand that as you two are coming back together, there may be outside interferences trying to keep you apart, because you two coming back together into union is going to be so powerfully productive when it comes to the collective awakening, that there are forces that are attempting to interfere. And so I feel like it's something that you are being made aware of, so that when you kind of see something like that or things of that nature, you understand what's going on. It's not a sign not to move towards this person. It is actually extra confirmation that this is a very powerful union, and there are forces that don't want that to happen. I'm gonna leave it at that. Hopefully you get what I'm picking up. Again, because this platform, gotta be a little cautious. Okay. I feel like I'm gonna pull one more from this. I just heard. Yeah. All right. We'll see. Yeah. Got the Hag. I don't know what that card means. But she's got like a seer stone. Oh, maybe you both are seers. Ooh. Yeah, buddy. Okay. Seers it's the ability to really see clearly. So like very, very active clairvoyance, a very open third eye. Um, the hag appears when you are stuck in denial. Whatever your age, you are at the right place on your life's journey where you are ready to face some harsh truths. Tough love can be given by others, but the toughest love of all is self love. The hag will stay by your side as long as you need her. This is accepting the truth, facing reality, elder power, tough love, wisdom, and the end of denial. So maybe this message is the confirmation you've been waiting for to really help bring clarity on the situation. Maybe you have. At the beginning, I was like, I don't feel like you're still in that confusion energy. But maybe you actually have been kind of slightly in that denial energy and still really trying to choke down this truth. And maybe this message is what's helping to bring you clarity. And also don't just take one message as like one reading as complete, truth. Ask for other signs and confirmations, and you will be given them. You've probably been getting, yeah, if you're watching this, you've been getting signs and synchronicities, and your higher self, your soul has been showing you, like, yes, this is what happened, this is what's happening, yes, this is what's happening, this is an intense soul connection, you two are meant to come together to fulfill a soul mission, you're better together than you are apart. And you've been getting these signs and these synchronicities to come back together in some way to fulfill that soul mission. And that's going to be a huge driving factor as well, to know if you really are on this journey or not. If you have this internal fire, this calling, this knowing that there's more, you're here for more, you feel like you've settled, you feel like there's more to life, there's something else you're meant here to be here doing, there's something, and maybe you don't know what it is yet. There's this inner burn that will not let you rest, it will not let you settle. When you attempt to settle, you can't. You're pushed out of your comfort zone, a tower moment hits, shit falls apart. Like, it's because your soul isn't letting you rest, because your soul came here for more, to be on mission, living your soul purpose. You're here for this. That's why you're resonating with this energy. That's why you came in with this type of a connection. That's what you're really meant to do, is to, tap into that soul mission, that soul calling, and to really step into your purpose and live from that place. And that is the biggest thing that this connection will do, is it will bring you back home to yourself, and it will ignite the rest of what needs to be lit within you to fully step into your purpose and to fully really anchored in. The connection that I'm picking up right here is something that is I'm hearing global. So this is going to be something you both have a mission, a very intense mission that you are meant to. I heard spread the word. You're meant to stand in your authenticity and to bring your authenticity to I just heard the global stage to help wake up the masses. Like this is big. This is big shit. This is a big purpose. And I feel like you've been you've been called back into this because you're ready for it now. And so that's part of this thing too, is where you're looking back and you're like, oh, all of this time has gone by and all of these things, and I've already anchored in this type of thing. And this message is to let you know that no, that's it's all good. So it's all good in the neighborhood. Um, it's an illusion. Um, the time is now. It is on point. It is everything's ready now. You both are at this place where you're able to anchor this into the planet, and this is what the planet needs. And so this transcends the two humans that are experiencing this. This is massively huge. Um very, very powerful. There's a very powerful mission that you two are really mm, being asked to come together and do together. Like there's and it's gonna be awesome. Like I just heard that. It's gonna be I feel like it's gonna be so just good. Like life's about to get good. That one? I'm doing this one. Okay. Holy moly. This is a longer message than I was intending. Alright. What else can we bring through really quick? And then close it out. Bring it through. Alright, what else? Angel of Strength. So I feel like what that's talking about is that there is a level of strength that you're going to need to step into in order to move this connection forward. Beings that I am reading for divine masculine, um, a balanced dynamic when it comes to this is the masculine will be asked to do the reaching out, to do the reconnection. Um, and with that, it takes a level of inner strength and resolve to move forward in that way. And the other thing too is I feel like this connection is very, very protected. Um, and I feel like the two of you together are very, very strong. It's a very strong connection. Um, the Magician and the Mirror. Okay, so this is one of the twin flame cards in the deck. So as extra confirmation, there is a mirroring that's happening, and you are each other's divine mirror. So yeah, okay. Being told to read it. Okay, this is about knowing and using your true power. It represents the culmination of your personal and spiritual power at this time. So, in the left hand is the flame of passion and action, in the right is a vortex of water and the light of reflection. This is telling you that you are the magician, and within your grasp are the amazing forces of earth and spirit. The water is the energy of yin, the power of spirit and clarity of thought. The flame is the energy of yang, bringing direction and creativity. Together, they give you the magnificent magic of transformation. The mirror stands beside the magician, reflecting the outer world's response to your choice to use or dismiss the true power you have. Its silver reflection reveals the future in a mist on the horizon, ready to be magically formed. You are being put on notice that an important and powerful time is at hand. You are the alchemist of your life, and just as an alchemist turns base metals into gold, you are now able to transform your difficulties into great blessings. This is true in every area of your life. Claim your power and embrace your intentions in your heart and in your daily life. Direct your destiny, and the mist of the future will clear into brilliant reality. So I feel like this is allowing yourself to accept what you're being shown right now. Allowing yourself to really embrace the fact that you are an alchemist, that you are the creator of your own reality. And the main thing that I keep hearing is the time is now. So take that as it resonates. Maybe the time is now to really embrace this. Maybe the time is now to reach out to this person. Maybe the time is now to clean up some things, to go within and look at some core wounds, whatever it is. Take it as it resonates. It's going to be different for each of you, but it's one of those, like, the time is now and your intuition is going to confirm that. So don't just take my word for it. Allow your own intuition to confirm this and to guide you to know what's true for you. Okay. Is that it? Okay. I just heard message delivered. So, okay. With that, I'm going to go ahead and leave this here. I hope this resonates. If so, let me know in the comments below. I normally don't do super specific messages like this, so I'm curious if it actually does resonate. Um, yeah, and above all else, I hope that this provides some clarity. This journey is very intense. It's something that only those that are on the journey can truly comprehend and understand. And so just remember that if you're trying to get comfort or clarity from others who aren't on this journey, it's going to leave you feeling more confused. And that's a sign that this defies the bounds of logic and what we are normally told in the 3D construct of how things work, how relationships work, that kind of thing. So just know that. All right. Well, if you like this message, feel free to hit that like button. And it does help out the channel, so thank you. And if you would like to see more from me, feel free to hit subscribe. It is free, and I will see you on the next message. Bye.